Welcome back. Once again, man, thank you all for 1,000 subscribers, bro. We did it. We made it. We actually hit it. But like I said in previous audios, that's not the only goal. That's not the main goal. That was just a for right now goal. And because we actually hit that, the new goal is 5,000. So I'm just being myself, and I realize when I be myself, bro, I can relate to a lot of people because a lot of people is just being themselves. I'm not AI, bro. I have character and I have personality, and so does your God. So does our God. So does our Father in heaven. He has a personality and character. I'm just gonna be me, bro. And God go love me for me, you feel me? Because he knew you before you was even in your mother's womb. That being said, man, I'm out. Welcome back to another video. But I want to come on to you street principles that I learned from being in the streets, bro. I haven't been really wanting to talk about because, I just been strictly about God, but, and just living longer. But I guess this is a part of that path, you know what I'm saying? Because these are certain things that I learned that you can apply to the, the square world or your free world. Or even if you a suburban dude that live a life without crime, you know what I'm saying? You can apply these principles. So, number one, man, is just don't allow people to come to your house, bro. For real, bro. Like, a lot of people shouldn't know where you lay your head at night, bro. That's supposed to be a sacred place. A place for you to find peace. Like, think about it, as a man in this world, bro, we go through so much, bro. We already got to go out in the world and kind of, like, not be tough, but we got to put on this persona and, like, really, like, have our guards up, you know what I'm saying? Because as men, people will want to test you, even these women, you know what I'm saying? It's like you don't get no escape from it. So when you go home, you need to feel safe, you know what I'm saying? But when people know where you live, bro, there's no safety in that, bro. Like, my house thing got shot up before, doing all the things that I did. I had slimed out my homie, and I'll tell y'all that story real quick. It's just a brief story. If y'all don't know, bro, I grew up in the hood. I'm from the hood all the way to about 5th grade. 6th grade, spent my life in the suburbs, dropped out of school around 10th or 11th grade, went back to the hood and started doing a lot more damage than what I was doing in the first place that caused us to move to the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? My parents moved me to the suburbs. It was a collective decision. Obviously, I don't live with my father. Obviously, my father's not in the household, but I live with my mama. So obviously, it was a collective decision that they came up together with to move me out of that environment because I was causing harm and getting in trouble with the law and stuff at a young age, bro. So they moved me away from there and moved me to the suburbs. So I formed, I got very familiar with some of these suburban kids, right? Okay, cool. So that's just a little brief backstory on how I got to the suburbs. Boom. So I got to the suburbs, and then from there, I would run into a lot of, different energies and characters. A lot of different, kids trying to portray and put on a persona as if they're from, certain neighborhoods and in the city, and just different acts and different gang lives, and you would think that these people is like you until you hear stories about these kids being from these suburban places all the way from preschool, right? So one of my homies was just like that, bro. He grew up in a suburban place that I went to, grew up there, but he had this tough persona, this tough image, and claimed that he was from my hood and the place that I was from. So eventually we would start going back to the hood, back to the hood. And one day, this particular homie did something and brought him out on his BS, and we realized that he wasn't from where he said he was from. This was my homie, bro, right? But realizing that he was faking his, and faking that much and faking that long, it kind of made me not trust him. It kind of made me look at him differently, right? We used to work together, and I would see him at work and stuff like that, and I did a lot for this kid, man. I done chalked the gun for him, and if y'all don't know what chalk mean, not to self-incriminate because all of this stuff is in GTA, I have, stole somebody's gun for the kid, the suburban kid, just to give him a gun because everybody around me had guns at the time, and we was just doing illegal things, and he was the only one without a gun. So I eventually, went on to take a gun for bro and all type of stuff, right? So eventually, something happens to that gun, and he end up having to get that gun up, and with the cord and all this legal stuff, right? He eventually had to get a gun up, and now he gunless, right? Boom. Fast forward, I have another suburban homie. Look, I had another suburban homie, right, chilling in the suburbs one day. This is my suburban house, bro. I'm not at my dad's house. I'm in the suburbs, right? I'm at my mother's house in the suburbs. We chilling in the suburbs one day. We cleaning up the house, and I guess my friend, he got finished cleaning up his part of the house, and he tells me, hey,
Tay, where did you hide the guns? I'm about to, chill with the gun. I'm about to go in the yard and be on live with it, right? Boom. So he's on live with the guns, and from there, he ends up shooting himself in the leg. I hear a loud bang. I run outside. Damn, you good? He limping. No, I got shot. He coming in the house. I tell him, hey man, stay on the porch, and we called the police to the house. And that's another principle that I want to talk about a little later on. Never bring the police to your place, but we'll talk about that later. But I called the police to the house, blah, 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 and they end up taking my gun and my little brother gun, right? Because my little brother, he ended up charging his next door neighbor, for her gun or whatever. However, I'm not going to tell his stuff. He's incarcerated right now and all that. But this is just, I'm trying to speed it up and, get to the moral of the story. He ended up getting my gun took and my brother gun took. And from there, we both went on to be gunless. And that was crazy at the time because we have already done things to the point where if somebody who seen us do certain things, they would have to, it's a possibility that we can get harmed or hurt, at this time. So at this time, I kind of felt like I needed a gun. Suburban homie that I was talking about at the beginning, from the hood, that we kicked off from the hood, right? He would eventually go on to get another firearm. So at this time, I'm thinking that he kind of owes me, right? Because I stole a gun for him, and he already not from the set, or not even the set, but the hood. We already done kicked him off the hood. He already can't come back around. I kind of feel like he owes me. So from there, I would go and link with dude and get back cool with dude. But whole time, I would eventually choose to and just take his gun. So boom, we chilling in the hood one day. We in the car, and eventually we get to talking, and then he get to pass around this new gun that he just got. I end up taking a gun, walking away, getting in my car, and driving to the west side of town, to my brother's side of town. Because we got a fucked up life, bro. I'm be honest. My brother doesn't have the same mama as me, and she moved him to the west side. But we all from the same hood, we all from the same neighborhood. But she moved him to the west side of the city, and we stayed on the east side of the city. But my mama moved me to the suburban side of the city, and my dad still remained in the hood, right? And every weekend we'd go to the hood and whatever, right? But that's how me and my brother would link up and meet up and blah, blah, blah. But once I start getting a car, I would drive and go get him, and we would come back to the hood, and we would chill in the hood and do our things and our dirt, right? So from there, boom, I take bro gun, and eventually, days later, I start seeing bullet holes in the wall. And I had video evidence, but I deleted my account so many times, my Instagram account so many times, to the point where I don't have these videos anymore. But I've had video evidence, right? And I would see bullet holes in the wall. Meanwhile, I have another younger brother. This brother is young, like a young child. You feel me? At this time, bro, my little brother could have been in the house. My dad could have been there. You know what I'm saying? And these are some 7.62 bullets. These are chopper bullets, big bullets shooting through my window, through the walls. It's these are big bullets, bro, coming through the house. All because of number one rule that I violated was allowing somebody to know, allowing the world to know, essentially, because a lot of people know that location. We had to move from that location, but allowing the world to know, and a lot of people to know where I laid my head, where one of my spots was. You feel me? And that was a big no-no for me. Realizing later, I had to learn the hard way that you just don't do something like that, bro. No matter if you in the street life, or no matter if you rich and you got a lot of money, people want what you got, and people can use where you lay at to your advantage. I've done a lot of things in my life. People will creep in your bushes and wait for you to come outside the house, because I was one of those dudes. I never got anybody, but I was creeping in bushes for about 2-3 hours and nobody came. So we damn, we just go come back tomorrow, and we end up never coming back. But we creeping in his bushes because we know where bro stay. Bro got money or whatever, and we just creeping in the bushes. So the number one rule, not to the streets, but that I've learned from the streets and being in the streets and putting myself in harm's way, the number one principle, the number one rule is never allow people to know where you stay. Where you lay your head should be sacred. You shouldn't trap where you stay. You shouldn't post where you stay. The neighborhood that you post, you shouldn't post it. Only a select few amount of people should know where you stay, bro. You gotta think about it, bro. Crime is not saying, okay, no, crime doesn't have a limit on it, right? Crime doesn't have a limitation on who they target, bro. Criminals, they criminals for a reason. They do not abide by the law. So they don't care if you a good guy, if you in the streets, if you a broke bummy dude looking for a come up the best way that you can, if you starving out here, if you hungry out here, you don't care who you get. It can be a church fellow and you don't believe in Christ, you don't believe in God, and you go ahead and you creep outside his house because he got nice Ferraris and all this different stuff. You feel me? So the number one rule for the day, bro, and I'm gonna come back tomorrow with another one, bro, is never let people know where you stay. It should be sacred unless you trust this person. And then even still, bro, you should have certain barriers up to the point where you meeting in certain places, right? You'll come to their house or you'll go to the bar and meet. And I don't believe in that drinking bar shit, but you know, it is what it is. Like, you'll go to the Dave and Buster's, you'll go meet somewhere public, or you'll meet at somewhere else, but it should never really often, you know, a lot of times be at your house, bro. That being said, man, that's the end of this video. I thank you all for watching, bro. Apply this to your life, bro. Realize and wake up to the fact that criminals is out here lurking and they don't give a fuck who they target. Yes, God may keep you safe. Yes, God will keep you safe. But think about it, bro. Everybody has free will. I'm gonna say that one more time. God will keep you safe and God is willing to keep you safe, but everybody has free will. Now, the Proverbs tell us if a criminal come and say, let us, you know, do all these things, such and such and such, they only digging a grave for themselves. But you got to think about it. Cain killed his brother Abel out of free will, and Abel was innocent in the eyes of the Lord. God accepted Abel's sacrifice, not Cain's. Abel was innocent in the eyes of the Lord. So yes, Cain got a curse on him, but he still was allowed to kill Abel. So these is one of the principles, man. Nobody's protected. I mean, yes, you are protected, but to a minimum, because everybody has free will. You feel me? If you're not being smart, then the Bible tells us that my people perish for the lack of knowledge. That's what God tells us. He said, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. So if you're not applying this knowledge to your life and you walking around here clueless like it ain't no crime, like you're not living in the good and bad world, then my nigga, that's on you. That's not on God no more, bro. You didn't apply the knowledge to your life, bro.